Now, I think it's only appropriate that we start today's video with a prayer. Dear Father, please send me more likes and followers and subscribers. I have been such a good little poppy this week. I am uploading so many videos for my subscribers. I ask you for your help in this one thing. It is the most important thing in my life. Please send me as many likes and subscribers as you can. This will make me so much happier and my life so much better. Amen. Hey guys, what's up? My name is Karen, and today's video is actually going to be steering a little bit more towards the dark side of YouTube, if that's what you'd prefer to call it. So I was super excited actually when I heard that this book was going to be coming out, and I've been waiting for it to show up in the mail, and last week it finally arrived. So I figured today I would take the time to do a review of the Gospel of Poppy. So I'm sure the majority of people who've probably clicked on this video absolutely know what this is and the YouTuber that I'm going to be talking about today. But if there's anyone out there that's coming more from the BookTuber side of YouTube, or if they have been following me for a while and they just have absolutely no idea what this is, I figured I would take the time to actually explain so you get a little bit better idea of what this is and don't think that based on the image of it I'm joining some cult or something. So since the end of 2014, there has been a YouTuber on YouTube who goes by Poppy, or sometimes That Poppy more professionally, and basically she makes a whole bunch of absurdist videos online that are usually considered to be very creepy in the way that there's always ambient music playing in the background and the overall way she presents herself. In every single video of hers, she tends to focus on things that have to do with the internet or technology, about celebrity and pop culture in general. And over time, her videos have actually become increasingly darker. Her videos have kind of started to explore the side of celebrity where people kind of believe that all celebrities have handlers who are forcing them to do things. She has lots of videos where she basically looks like she's reaching out for help, and she's also not allowed to do certain things because they won't let her. One of the big things with her channel too recently is that there's been a lot of allusions to Christianity, but there's also been more recent allusions to the Illuminati. She has a lot of like triangles featured in her videos, and most of the people that are watching these videos tend to believe that what they're seeing is legitimate, that this is like how she truly acts, and that this is someone that's actually asking for help. But if you look in the description of every single one of her videos, they are being directed by a man that goes by Titanic Sinclair. So he is also a YouTuber that has been around for a lot longer than her. He first started making videos with another girl named Mars Argo, which were very, very similar to kind of the ones that Poppy is doing today. And he has also released videos on another channel of his own where he tends to embody the person behind the camera, where Poppy is the person in front. And a lot of times their videos will also be linked together. Once Poppy released a video where she says the phrase, "What rhymes with breath?" and same day Titanic released one where he says the word death. Like, that's all he says. And then there was another time where she released a video saying, "I'm not in a cult." Same day Titanic releases one saying he is not a cult leader. But from further research, it is very easy to see that this is all one big art project. Titanic has been around for many years. He's been directing several other videos, and he is pretty much a lesser-known filmmaker, and he tends to be pretty experimental with the ones he directs or makes. If you research Poppy a little bit more, you will see that she actually signed with Island Records around the same time she started releasing videos. So her channel is basically just a way for her to help promote her music. Which, by the way, if you have not heard her Bubble Bath EP, I strongly recommend looking up That Poppy on iTunes and downloading it, because it's actually some of the best generic pop I've ever heard. If you would like to know a little bit more about her before watching the rest of this review, I actually recommend looking up a couple of videos on her channel first, and then watching a couple of videos on YouTube that also explain kind of the theories behind her and how Titanic and Mars Argo are also connected to her, and then going back and watching a few more, because that's when things really start to make sense and you can get a better idea of what's actually going on here. I will also leave a link to her channel on the screen at the end of this video in case you'd prefer to watch the rest of this review first and then go check her out. Basically though, I discovered her at the very beginning of this year, shortly after I started my BookTube channel actually, and I was not like most people and actually clued in that this was an art project from very early on. And I'm actually a huge fan of what they're doing. It is extremely creepy and some people get scared easily. I was actually scared easily at first, but I think it's really interesting what they're doing. When I say they, I mean Poppy and Titanic. They do make a lot of pretty interesting statements about the current world we live in, so I think it's worth checking out if you're into that kind of stuff and just like weirder art projects and things like that. But anyways, moving more towards what this video is actually about. So a few months ago, Poppy actually released a tweet saying that they, as in her handlers, are helping her to write a book. A little bit after that, she also did an interview with Vice saying that she was going to be writing a book that would basically be the word of God, or that God was speaking through her, so alluding to both Christianity and Illuminati and all that stuff like she tends to do. And then finally, towards the end of April, she announced on her Twitter that this book, The Gospel of Poppy, was now available on her website, her merchandise website actually. All the description for it said was that it was the spoken word of Poppy and not much else information was made known about it. But I didn't even think about it. I immediately purchased it and I was lucky enough to be one of the people that managed to get it before it sold out the first time. Because I know the second batch of people are actually still waiting till a date later this month for it to be shipped out, I think. The thing that sucks for me though was because I am in Canada, I did have to pay a little bit more money for it. So in the United States it's $16, but I also had to pay an additional $10 for the shipping, and then when you throw the exchange in there, I ended up paying $36.35. And when you see the size of this thing, I wasn't overly happy, so if I come off a little bit petty in the rest of this video, that's why. I kept seeing all these pictures of it online from the people that managed to get it before me, and there has been absolutely no other reviews of it on YouTube, which I thought, since she's so big on YouTube, why aren't people jumping on to do this? Maybe not necessarily other booktubers, but there's people that cover stuff like this all the time, and there's a video of some guy singing a song inspired by this book, and there's another one where someone just kind of did a video based on one of the passages in this book. But other than that, nobody has really reviewed it, so that is what I'm doing today now that I finally have it, because I would have liked to known kind of what I was getting into before I got it, so I figured there's probably other people out there too that want to know what to expect or if it's going to be a waste of money. So this will have spoilers in it, so if you've recently pre-ordered it and you're waiting for your copy, I suggest maybe not watching this video, but for those that want to know what to expect, definitely keep watching. I was actually so excited to get this, and when I opened it, I was so excited. Even with the small size, I still wanted to see what was in it, and I have to say that overall, I was actually a little bit disappointed. Which it hurts me to say that because I really wanted to like it, and I like what Poppy does and everything, but it did not meet up to my expectation. And I'm sure she probably has a lot of really big fans that were willing to pay the money for it because they just want it as something to have. And you know what, that's absolutely fine. Like, I'm probably going to display this on my shelf, especially if I have anybody coming over that I don't really like, because nobody wants to mess with you if they think you're part of a cult, right? So people that have been following my channel forever, you know that I am a book lover, and so I was really hoping that if this is going to be labeled a book, that this would be something really creative coming from Poppy and Titanic's part, and that it would be a really fun read, kind of related to the projects that they have going on right now. But the content of this didn't totally meet up to what I was hoping for. So the first section of this book kind of has some original things talking about like creativity and things like that, which I thought was cool because that kind of really spoke to My phone went off and it scared me. Anyways, there's a lot of stuff at the beginning that really speaks to a lot of the messages that Poppy has on her channel, which I liked that, and I got good vibes from the start, and I was really excited to read more. But then, kind of towards the end of the beginning, it's like there's all these like technical definitions about like computers and reflection and things like that it literally seems like they copied off of like dictionary.com. And that's kind of when it got a little bit boring, and I was kind of hoping for something a little bit more exciting. And then for the middle part of the book, let me just say that my two theories about this book after I ordered it were, one, that it was going to be completely blank and have nothing in it, and that they were just doing a huge like troll, which probably would have spoke to some sort of message they have on her channel. And then my other theory was that they were going to take Bible passages and just replace God with Poppy all throughout. And guess who was right? The whole middle section of this book is Bible verses where God is replaced by Poppy. And I was kind of excited that I was right. And the fact that they did that definitely has a message behind it that is linked to a lot of the messages that are on the art project. But I was kind of hoping that maybe I'd be wrong and that they would provide more original content than that, because they are such creative people and I know they have it in them to come up with so many original ideas and things like that. But it started to seem very lazy at this point. And it's like, I'm not saying they needed to write some like 300-page book or anything. Like, this book is 99 pages, and a lot of the pages are either blank or have like hardly anything on them. But some more effort might have been nice than just copying and pasting and switching God out for Poppy. Heading towards the end of the book, it's actually a bunch of the transcriptions from her videos. So the one that I actually read at the very beginning of this video is actually another video that she has. And there's just like a lot of the scripts from her videos. And again, it's kind of cool to have that when you are a fan of her, but at the same time, it's like I've already seen that and would have liked to have seen something new. Then the very end is where they basically put in what I was kind of hoping for overall. It's this very creepy section that just has "I'm Poppy" repeated and like a whole bunch of different images. And like I was so creeped out and like shaking. I spent like half the book being annoyed that I spent my money on a bunch of like copy and paste and stuff, but when I got to that point, that was the part where I actually started getting scared, and then the other half of me was like, yes, this is exactly what I wanted when I purchased this book. At least they had a little bit of that in there, but overall, like I felt kind of trolled, like almost maybe a little bit scammed. Like it seemed like it's like they didn't really think too much about what they put into this, and it's like, yeah, let's just throw that in there, that'll be fine. My other few complaints I have is based solely on the fact that I am a publishing graduate, as a lot of you know, so I know a lot about what goes into the production of most books. Obviously, from this you can tell that it is self-published, like they didn't go with any other publisher for this or anything. Although I'm sure Poppy's popularity is high enough that they could easily get a book deal and get the help to create like a super huge, like creepy book if they wanted. But if you look at like how the page numbers are formatted at the bottom of each page, like you can tell that they basically just wrote this up on a MacBook and then went to a printer. And that kind of threw me off a little bit. Like I'm not saying like there's necessarily anything wrong with that. It's just it didn't look that nice compared to like the formatting of the rest of the pages. Basically, when a manuscript goes into production, most publishing houses will use Adobe InDesign. That helps them really format the pages so that the margins are great. They can format it all the way throughout so that it looks really nice and consistent, and then they can fix the page numbers so that they don't look like so random and gross at the bottom of every page. And the other big thing that I took issue with was the amount of spelling and grammar errors all throughout this. It had a lot of run-on sentences, comma splices, wrong words used, words missing letters. Like, I know I wasn't really paying that much for this. I shouldn't have really expected a high quality book, but the fact that they couldn't have just like gone through and edited it to make sure that everything was spelled right, or like I'm not gonna be ignorant and say that they're super rich, but I'm sure that they probably make enough money from this that they could have hired a freelance editor to go through and make sure that like everything was grammatically correct and spelled right. So that was kind of disappointing that you're spending money on something that it just seems like they're not really putting time and effort into. Like I said, I love Poppy and I love this project that they're doing, and this is a great little piece to own for fans and would have made an awesome addition to the work that they're doing for this project. But I couldn't help but feel a little disappointed. I was expecting a little bit more, but at the same time I am still happy that I own this and that it is a cute prop to basically have. I'm sure all fans are going to love to own this. I just would have really loved to have seen a lot more put into this because I know Poppy and Titanic are such creative people, and if they had just dedicated the time, they could have put out a product that was really cool and really added to the stuff that they're doing online. But of course, I will still happily display this book and use it to freak people out whenever I feel like it. Even though I was disappointed in this, I'm still a big fan of everything that Poppy's doing, and I think that she's only going to continue to get bigger. And I'm really excited to see where all her videos are going to continue to go, as well as what happens with her afterwards. Alright guys, so that is it for my review of The Gospel of Poppy. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to purchase the book, I will leave a link for that in the description. And if you would like to check out Poppy's channel, I will leave the link for it somewhere up here. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and feel free to leave a comment. And if you liked this video and would like to see more BookTube related things from me, make sure you're subscribed to my channel. Again, thank you for watching. As always, spread love and don't be a troll. Bye!